Hi everyone, we're back. We're in Kelowna, beautiful Kelowna, British Columbia, and a good friend of mine stopped by. I'd like to introduce you to Willgow. Will is also a fellow YouTuber, and his channel is Willsolotravels. And Will, welcome back to Kelowna.
It's been great. The weather's been a little hotter than normal, but it's been great.
Absolutely, and for those American friends, our daytime temperatures right now are pushing near 100 or
Close,
yeah,
close.
high 30s. Matter of fact, tomorrow we're going to be 38 Celsius here. So good thing we found some shade and a beautiful view, a backdrop of the lake here. Anyway, let's get down to it. Will, tell us about your channel. One of the things that I've always wanted to ask you was the channel name itself, Willsolotravels. How do you define that?
Well, you know, when you're looking at a name for a YouTube channel, you're thinking, everybody's got their different names, and I kept on thinking, you know, Will Solo. And the reason solo travel came in is because, you know, on a personal note, as you know, as we're getting a little older with all our friends, many of our friends either are unable to or can't travel. And there's less people that we know that we either grew up with or that we're professionally with, or older friends that we want to do a little more adventure with. And, you know, unless we do something about it, we have a smaller group every year trying to do some adventure travel. So I ended up more of a solo traveler, and so that's where I came up with the word solo, and that's going to stick for a while. Now I'm prepared to slash it out and say sometimes, you know, will solo sometimes travel, and because you never know who comes in your life.
That's true, yeah. And the videos that really caught attention to most viewers, I would think, at least to us when we looked at it, was your trips to Mongolia. These were fascinating to see. Culture, lifestyle, you really embedded yourself into everything there. So tell us what that was like. Or
you know, it was an experience because, you know, through one of the I'm going to say social enterprise groups based in Canada, Kessel Group especially, I had an opportunity to travel to Mongolia just over 3 years ago. First time out on doing assignments, and of course a lot of it's volunteer, but you know, you're out there, you know, 6-7 days a week, and I'm arriving in Mongolia, and I took to Mongolia right away. It's a 14th, 15th largest landmass in the world, but it's between China and Russia, but it only has 3.2 million people, average age 29, all mostly professional people, well trained everywhere. So they got one city of 1.2 million, and the rest of the country is small provincial capitals. And I spent months in these small 4 or 5 provinces only, there's 21 there, and traveled spring and winter. And winter was 40 below, and we're talking the Genghis Khan steppes, and steep with a lot of adventure. And I got to meet a lot of the nomadic herders, and we spent time and got to meet a lot of the governor people who I'm training with. And it was a great experience, but it's you're embedding in a culture. It's not like you call a beach setting like this. No, we're talking about 1,000-year history culture here. And I've had fortune to be back at least 6 times, and I'm going to go back again if I can to do some more overland adventure on my own.
Nice.
So I had some favorite videos though. My favorite ones are the Bonkar dogs that I think I saw where we went to an event. It was minus 25, and there was wrestling, and the original Bonkar dogs are the original landrace dogs in the world, but they almost went extinct in Mongolia because, unfortunately, one of their neighbors decided they liked the fur, and it started to, you know, decimate the dogs. But the herders need those dogs to protect the livestock. So now that there's a project to reintroduce purebred Bonkars back into Mongolia to give to the herders to expand and protect their herds, and I enjoyed the event I was at. It's on the YouTube channel. I also had the black market and horse racing. My second favorite one was, I'm out in a small provincial town, and I got invited to go to the annual horse racing for the pre-Nandam festivals they have. And I came out with a couple government officials, and 2 things happened. They've got 6 to 12-year-olds, 100 of them racing across 12 kilometers of the steppe.
Wow.
Wow, yeah, and you know, like, they're trained, but we're watching these young riders go, and it was a big pageantry for that small town. But what they also did was select vehicles, including the governor's cars at the end and a few other ones. They raced beside the riders, So the cars are racing, and the horses are racing, and the cars are racing each other. It's a contest with who the cars can stay ahead, and it was wild. So I'm watching the young riders, but it was just, but the drivers of these vehicles that I was in, they were all racing each other too. So
Yeah.
you gotta love the culture.
Yeah, well, going back to the black market, we found that amazing. So if you haven't ever seen a Mongolian black market, you have to watch Will's video on this one. Everything that was there was just so unique. I'm not going to get into the detail and let you watch it.
But I had anywhere from, in most cases in Mongolia, 2 months to 4 months to embed myself, and I was fortunate to be able to travel over there and stay within these small capitals and just be the only Western personer for literally thousands of kilometers, because most people weren't traveling at that time, and I was one of the few. So, but safe country, great people, and again, it was just had a lot of history to it, which I want to go back to.
Yeah, we'll look forward to that. It was an amazing videos that you put together there. Yeah. Well, I was trying to think, what is your next what are you planning for future videos?
Well, again, with these travels, I had a chance to go to the Philippines. I had a chance to go to Ghana, and I did the videos there. Now, the Ghana market was fascinating because they had 10,000 vendors, and it's the largest and one of the largest outdoor vendors in Africa, and it was wild. But you know what? It was exciting at the same time, and I enjoyed that. But in future videos, depending on travel, it's a little bit restrictive because you don't know where you're going to go, and we all are faced with the cost going up. So I'm also thinking, like I told Tom, is if I get another traveling vehicle, like a smaller RV, whatever, and I travel, I'll do some theme videos I want to do. I've always wanted to go back to one of my favorite spots. It's called Lone Pine, California. It's where about 500 movies were made, and so you get to see a lot of history in the film and making. So there'll be themes I'm going to be doing in the future, and exactly.
Death Valley, is that?
I went on the edge of Death Valley. I wasn't prepared to cross over because it's 3.5 hours over to Vegas, and at the time I thought, do I do it with my older RV? And I'm thinking I'm taking enough risk as it is. I'm going to bypass it, and thank God, because this is a record year for Death Valley. I can't predict what they hit, but I think I heard it was 135.
Yeah, that is hot.
It was phenomenal. Now it's warming up, and you do not have to go through 3.5 hours of that.
Yeah.
So I'm cautious.
Yeah. Well, it'll be another exciting adventure. There's a lot of history.
Well, you'll never hear me doing your e-bike through Death Valley. Trust me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be doing that.
Unless it was air conditioned. Yeah. No, that's great. Well, that brings us up to speed, kind of.
It does.
Yeah. And gosh, this is such a unique opportunity for us to be together again, especially on camera and sharing our channels with the audience. And yeah. So if you haven't already, please check out Willsolotravels on YouTube and follow Will along in his amazing journey that he's sharing with us. And
give us support, and like our other ones we mentioned, because it'll be a nice little community of YouTubers we can have in Kelowna, which is great because it gives me another area to come down. And also, I'm going to big shout out to my son Steve on Smoke Trails Barbecue, a major big YouTube. He's achieved it. So if you like barbecuing and you want the top and best in the world, so Smoke Trails Barbecue. Other than that, all the best of both of us, right?
Well, thanks for sharing everything. Okay. And happy trails and adventures to you, my friend. And thanks
maybe we'll travel with you and it won't be solo for a while too. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. Look forward to doing this once again. Thanks, Will.
Thank you, Tom.
All right.
All right.
Okay, that's a wrap.
I think it worked out well.
Yeah. Thanks.